One of the best videos I've ever done since being on YouTube. This video called Boxing Fans Ruin Boxing. Early in 2017. It was inspired by a YouTuber saying that it was foolish for Kell Brook to fight Triple G. And I made that video immediately after, expressing my feelings on why Kell Brook was a real fighter and why guys like him should be praised. And ironically, in that video, I mentioned back to back Miguel Roman and Orlando Salido. Miguel Roman had just fought Takashi Maura. He had just lost to Takashi Maura. And, I said that I respected the guy even though he had numerous losses on his record because he was a tough guy, put up a hell of a fight. And Orlando Salido, I mentioned him and the number of losses that he had because the YouTuber commented saying that that Kell Brook had a loss on his record. Like one loss was the end of the world. Like it was such a major deal. I pointed out how many Hall of Famers have losses on their records. Pretty much all of them do. Except for maybe a handful, if that many. And I talked about Salido. I said, in my opinion, Orlando Salido is a Hall of Famer. Now tonight, ironically as it was, Miguel Roman and Orlando Salido had a fight. When this fight was announced, I was excited. I knew it would be a must-see action fight. A fight that would not fail. And a few hours ago, we had Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. That was the most anticipated fight of the night, and it was a huge letdown because it was short, it was one-sided, and one guy quit. This fight, we all should be thankful that HBO decided to put on a fight on the same night as Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. And lead up, you would think it was absolutely foolish. Why would they do that? Why would they? Everybody's going to be on the Lomachenko Rigondeaux fight, and that fight turned out to be a bomb, a stinker, a letdown. And this fight, Miguel Roman and Orlando Salido did not disappoint. It lived up to the hype, And first off, let me give a to both men. Congrats to Miguel Roman on winning the fight. This guy now has 58 wins in his career. 58 wins in his career, man. And like 11, 12 losses, something like that. Like I said before, man. Everybody, people want to make a loss to be the worst thing in the world. So hung up on the Mayweather shit. You got tons of Hall of Famers, old timers who had over 100 fights, who have multiple losses on their record, over 10 losses on their record. And, once again, guys with multiple losses put on a hell of a fight. And it was a more entertaining fight, a better fight, a fight that'll leave you happy, unlike the fight with the two high skill level guys in Rigondeaux and Lomachenko. The guys with the losses had the better, more exciting fight. And, let me give a standing to one of my favorite fighters, man, Orlando Salido. Thank you, Orlando Salido. Thank you for all of the memories. Thank you for the fights. Thankfully, Orlando Salido announced his retirement tonight. I was going to call for him to retire after that fight. I could see it, at the beginning of the fight. I could see the changes in his body. I could see that he is clearly aged, man. And the man has been in the game for 21 years. He's been through wars, hell, damn near 22 years. He had been through wars, and he gave a lot to the sport, man. And let me say again, I know a lot of people might disagree, and I don't care. Orlando Salido is a Hall of Famer, man. I hope they vote him in when he is eligible, and I will go through the reasons why later on in this video. This video will be a post fight, but at the same time, it will be a tribute to Orlando Salido, and thank you for what he gave boxing fans and what he gave to the sport. All right, now let me tell you how I saw this fight. All right. First round, I scored 10-9 for Salido. He hurts Roman near end of round with a right. Round 2, 10-9 Roman. Salido won beginning of round, but Roman came on in second half, hurting Salido. Round 3, 10-9 Salido, punch for punch. Salido took it at the end of round with combo and defense. Round 4, 10-8 Roman. Salido knocked down. Round 5, 10-10 phone booth, punch for punch. Round 6, 10-10, another punch for punch round. Both men had moments. Round 7 is incomplete for me. I kind of veered off, man. It was still, a phone booth fight, but I was not focused, enough to judge that round. So that's incomplete on my scorecard. Round 8, 10-8 for Miguel Roman. Salido knocked down, hurt bad, but makes comeback. Great comeback to close the round. A great comeback. One last great effort from the Warrior. All right. And in round 9, that was the end of the fight. Salido was knocked down for a third time, and Robert Byrd stopped the fight. It was a good stoppage. He, like I said, that was the third time he had been knocked down. He clearly, was hurt in the fight, had suffered damage, and the guy needed to be saved from taking more damage on his life, and there were two great post-fight interviews with Max Kellerman with Miguel Roman, who again I believe his 58th win tonight, man. I love guys with big records, man. I love guys who have big huge win amounts like that. And even the losses do not that does not bother me. I do not downgrade a guy because they have losses like that, man. The guy's been in a ton of fights. What I think they said tonight was his 70th fight. And the guy's like 32 years old, man. That's to be respected, man. 32 and he's got 70 fights, man. Much respect. I love seeing guys with big records, man. And the guy was emotional. It was the biggest win of his career, and I'm assuming that he will probably get a title shot after this fight. This fight was supposed to be for a WBC title, but according to Mauricio Suleiman, HBO downgraded to a 10-round fight, which was sad. It would have been nice if this was for a world title, and Miguel Roman got his honor in this fight. It would have been very nice. And Max Kellerman talked to Orlando Salido, and I was gonna call for Salido to retire, and thankfully they asked him if this was his last fight. He said yes. He said he's going, and man, Orlando Salido, man. He made the right decision, man. His family was there to see his last fight. The guy does not take any more damage, man. He gave the sport and he gave fans, all he had, more than could be asked of a guy to give. Orlando Salido, I think on the graphic they said he was 39, but on his box record during the fight, the commentator said he was 37. He turned pro in March of 1996. So, just a few months shy, like 3 months shy of being a pro for 22 years. It's a hell of a run, man. A hell of a run. Where were you in 1996? Some people watching this video may not have been born. March of 96, I was in the 8th grade. I was in the 8th grade, man. Had not even made high school when this man made his pro debut. And now I'm 35. So, Orlando Salido, man, the guy was around for a long time, man. And as I said, man, this guy, in my opinion, he is a Hall of Famer. He was very emotional after the fight. He said that he hopes that the fans, remember him for the fights that he gave. The fight of the year candidates that he had. He will be remembered by me. For his toughness, for what he accomplished in his career, man. A world champion in two weight classes. A guy who was always great to watch, who would not go out easy, who was tough, and who was always game, man. Now, besides the 21 years in longevity, Orlando Salido had 44 wins in his career. He had 31 by knockout with 14 losses, 6 by KO. He had 4 draws. All right, and I believe he had one no decision, a no contest, which was the Robert Guerrero fight where he tested positive for a steroid, and the result was changed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. All right, but his career started. He started out, with a loss. He got TKO'd. It looks like in the 4th round in Mexico. And with him being a pro for almost 22 years, he may have been, let's see, maybe 15 at the time. These guys in Mexico, man, they start out their careers young. They start out, as teenagers, man, like Canelo did. But, he had his bumps, along the way in Mexico, some of these losses I'm seeing. But he grew into a damn good fighter, man, and he faced some damn good names in his career. I believe the first big recognizable name was Juan Manuel Marquez. He lost a unanimous decision in that fight. He fought him. It's like he beat Robert Guerrero, but that fight was overturned because of the positive steroid test. All right, and he lost unanimous decision to Gamboa in 2010. And this was where I really started to recognize and know who Orlando Salido was. When he fought Juan Manuel Lopez for the first time in 2011, April 16, 2011. I was never really high on Juan Manuel Lopez, but at the time, going to that fight, he was 30-0. He was a world champion. He was the WBO world featherweight champion. I'm guessing because it was for that title, and it was in Puerto Rico. The home country of Juan. He was highly rated. He probably was in a lot of people's top 10 pound for pound. Even though I was not high on the guy, he was highly rated. And Orlando Salido went into this guy's country and knocked him out, man. TKO in the 8th round. I believe these two fights were on Showtime. I watched both fights. Both great, great, great fights, man. I have not seen from beginning to end since those fights. But I can remember, just an unbelievable back and forth. Brutal, brutal beatings, man. I believe in the second fight, one of the best rounds of fighting I ever saw in my life, the back and forth, what these guys were doing to each other, man. And, the guy was an instant star and had my success when he went to Puerto Rico and beat Juanma for the first time in his career. I was very excited about that because I was not high on Juanma. And, the guy became a world champion. And almost nearly exactly a year later, he went back. He went back to Puerto Rico to fight Juanma again for a second time. Not the fight was not in Mexico. He went back to Puerto Rico, and what happened? He knocked him out again. This time in the 10th round. And inside information, a little fun fact. that was the first fight, the first sporting event I ever placed a wager on. Uh, you know, they had Orlando Salido as the underdog, and I think he was like a plus 150 if I remember correctly. I could not believe it, and I had to put money on it. Because I feel he would win again, and he did. You know, and that was on March 10th, 2012, when he went back to Puerto Rico. In the same, no, it was not the same. The second fight was in San Juan. The first one was in Bayamon, I guess is how you pronounce it. All right, but yeah, so I mean, a hell of an accomplishment, man. Went to that guy's country twice and stopped him. One, a highly rated guy, in the world at that point. So Salido instantly had my success big time. And he had a bad loss to Mikey Garcia. He got outclassed bad. And Mikey Garcia was a guy at the time, he was 30-0. He was, talked up pretty well. And, I thought Salido was going to go at him. I thought he could do what he did to Juan Ma. I thought I felt that he could rough Mike Garcia up. And he got outclassed badly, man. And he lost that fight. But, besides the Walmart victories, which were huge in my opinion, the big one, the biggest win of his career, March 1st, 2014, against this talked up, hyped up, two-time Olympic gold medalist who was getting a world title shot in only his second fight, which was an insult to Salido. To think that an amateur could come in and fight him for a world title and try to take his world title, as this man had been in wars with Walmart, Vasyl Lomachenko, who also fought tonight against Rigondeaux. I remember Lomachenko was like a minus 500 something to win that fight. Could have got like plus 400 or so on Orlando Salido. And what happened? Orlando Salido, made Lomachenko look like the amateur that he was, and from what I remember, basically ragdoll Lomachenko, had him looking sloppy in that fight, and Salido clearly won that fight, man. Over two-time Olympic gold medalist. Yes, the guy lost the belt for being overweight, but I've heard some people say he did it on purpose, just to show that he was gonna teach this little young punk a lesson. That you can just come in on your second fight and beat me, fight me for a world title, and he put it on Lomachenko, man. So the biggest win in his career against Lomachenko. Now the two fights were after that fight. Look at this, a notable fight on his resume for the interim super featherweight title. He got a KO in the 11th against this Terzak Jadang, I guess is how you would say this, in Tijuana. This guy was 53-4 with one draw. A guy with a big record, who he fought into the 11th round, and got a stoppage. So that was another world title for the guy. He fought Roman Martinez twice. I heard about these fights, but I have never seen these fights. I heard that they were wars, man. He lost the first one, and he got a draw in the second one. The Francisco Vargas fight, I saw. It was a phone booth fight on HBO, man. Fight of the year. That was a draw. I saw the fight as a draw. A phone booth fight. That's just hard to judge, man. If it's hard to judge, I would judge the shit 10-10. All right. And he thankfully he got which I did not know about. He got a win early this year in May on the 27th, same day as Brooks Spence in Mexico, against some guy named Perez. He stopped him. I guess the guy could not come out of the corner at the end of the 7th round. So he got one final victory in Mexico, which I'm happy about. And then tonight he went out on his shield in his in his what fight was this? It doesn't say. Let's see. Let's see. Two. What is it? 62nd fight, 63rd fight, I believe. 63rd fight, I think. He went out on a shield, man. He passed the torch to a guy who was similar, as him, a guy from Mexico, kind of a blood and gut warrior type guy, who will, go toe to toe with someone. Miguel Roman is cut from the same cloth as Orlando Salido. They have a lot of respect for each other, man. And he lost to the younger guy, the guy who had more in the tank at this point. And Miguel Roman can take that torch from Orlando Salido and continue to be action fighter from Mexico, as Salido was, man. And continue the legacy of Mexican style tough Mexican fighters, man. And that was a good way for Salido to go out, man. If he could not go out on the win, he could pass torch to a guy who was similar as him, who could go on and have great, exciting, fight of the year, candidate type fights, memorable, exciting fights, man. And so no shame at all for Orlando Salido. But in my opinion, man, the fact that this guy went to Puerto Rico twice and beat Walmart, he is the only guy to defeat Lomachenko as a pro. When he was a heavy underdog, the man won world titles in 2 weight classes, and he is one of the most memorable action fighters of his era. From '96 all the way up until 2017. The guy put on exciting, great fights. He gave almost 22 years of his life to the sport, and he gave us great, memorable fights, man. Multiple fights that went almost to the distance or to the distance. And if not, somebody got knocked out brutally, beat up bad. Fights that you remember, man. So, and when you combine all those things together, man, I think Orlando Salido is a Hall of Famer, man. I do. And the guy will be missed. I'm honored and thankful to have watched him fight. He gave us a lot, guys. He gave us a lot, man. He gave us a lot. So Orlando Salido, man, I salute you, and we wish you well in retirement. We wish you and your family well, and we thank you for the memories, man. And I hope you get that Hall of Fame nod, because in my opinion, you deserve it. Victories over Walmart, a victory over Lomachenko, 2 world titles, and one of the toughest, most exciting action fighters of his era for 22 years in the sport, man. So again, Orlando Salido, let me stand and give a big thank you, a big round of applause, man. Orlando Salido, I do not recall him pulling some Rigondeaux shit where he sat on the stool and complained about his hand, man. It's not the kind of guy Orlando Salido is, man. Even in his last fight, as an aged fighter, you can see it in his body. He was fighting to the end, man. And had Miguel Roman rock bad in the beginning of that fight. If this was a younger, more prime Orlando Salido, this fight probably would have turned out different, man. But he got to the end of the road in his career, and I'm thankful that he retired when he did, man. So again, thank you, Orlando Salido, man. And if you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to say about the fight or Orlando Salido's career, man, let me know. But I am pushing for this guy to get inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed that fight, and I will check in soon. Again, thank you, Orlando Salido. Thanks for watching.